The D&D Underdark Paint Set is an expansion to the Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments series. The set comes with 10 colors, 8 of which are completely unique to the D&D range, and specifically designed to match the monsters and horrors that you could find in this nightmare realm. We previously painted up the exclusive Drizzt miniature to a Tabletop Ready standard, and today we're going to take this model to the next level and showcase some Masterclass techniques. The colors that you're going to need for this Masterclass tutorial can be found across the D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments range, and they are Treant Green, Minotaur Hide, Ruddy Skin, Fair Skin, Underdark Grey, Xanathar Blue, Skeleton Bone, Bugbear Brown, Goblin Skin, Silver Dragon, and Shadow Wash. For the first highlight that we're going to apply in this Masterclass tutorial is a 50-50 mix of Fair Skin and Underdark Grey, applied just to the most raised areas on the skin, like the bridge of the nose, the brows, the cheek, and out of focus here, I apologize, the ridges of the knuckles and fingers on this fantastic Drizzt sculpt. Now we're going to add a fine highlight to all of the armor and greaves on this model that we originally painted in rigid leather with a brown wash in our tabletop tutorial, which you can find on our YouTube and Facebook pages. This mix of Minotaur hide and Ruddy skin applied to the most raised areas of all of the leather bits on the model is a perfect complementary highlight tone on this sculpt. In much the same fashion, we are going to apply a fine highlight to all of the straps on the model using a mix of Bugbear Brown and Goblin Skin. We'll also use this mixture to apply a highlight to the boots on the model and the straps on his weapon. When applying these very fine highlights using a detail brush, as you can see on screen, I do recommend that you thin down your paints with clean water. The reason I suggest that is because these more detail-oriented brushes have fewer bristles, and the fewer bristles do dry out quicker. That thinned down paint allows you more workability and time when applying these detailed measures on the model. We're moving on to orc skin, and we're applying this just on the tips and most raised areas of the fur on Drizzt's cloak, as you can see on camera. Careful not to get it into the recesses where we applied a wash in our tabletop tutorial. Then using a dry brush, we load up the bristles, remove all of the excess paint on a piece of paper towel, and we're just going to flick some of that orc skin across the rocks and pavers on the base of the model, as you can see on screen here. We're moving on to a mix of Treant Green and Skeleton Bone for the highlights on Drizzt's cape. Now, the reason that I like to use colors like Skeleton Bone with greens is that the warmth in the Skeleton Bone really lends itself well to the natural highlight colors that we're trying to achieve when working up the highlights on this green cape. Using the edge of the brush, we are just going to trace a very fine line, again with very watered down paints, across the most raised areas of the model, these folds on the cloak. Careful not to get any of these highlight colors into the recesses that we previously shaded in our tabletop tutorial. You can also use the edge of your brush, as you can see on screen, to pull out the ridges and folds in the model. This is highlighting on easy mode. I'm going to show you a simple technique for painting in the eyes. We're using Xanathar Blue, and this is a very bright, majestical blue, and we're just applying this inside of the eye sockets on Drizzt's face. Then using Shadow Wash, we're going to apply that into the sockets of the eye and work the rest of that wash into the folds of his facial features. What this is going to do is give a nice majestic glow to Drizzt's eyes. With the eyes now complete, we're going to move on to finishing the base of the model. And a finished base really takes your model to the next level. We're using Battlefield's basing glue and just applying it sporadically across the base. We don't want to be too uniform here. We want a bit of randomness as we apply our snow flock. For that, we're going to be using Battlefield Snow. With the PVA glue applied, we just dip the base into the tub of Battlefield Snow and shake it off. We applied a few tufts to the model, and there you have it. Our Drizzt model from the D&D Underdark Paint Set is complete. Remember that this model comes for free when you purchase this new paint set in the Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments series. I really enjoyed painting up this model. It's a fantastic sculpt, and if you followed along to both our tabletop and masterclass videos, I think you'll not only find that painting your models can be simple, but super fun.
Using the Underdark Paint Set along with the rest of the Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments series offers you a plethora of colors to paint up any barbarian, warrior, or wizard that you find on your next dungeon party. This set will be available in retail stores and online real soon, so be sure to get your hands on it. Remember, the magic in miniature painting is that it can be as simple or as advanced as you'd like it to be. With a few simple techniques, you're sure to achieve some great results. I hope you enjoyed this masterclass tutorial today. Be sure to tune in next time.